So E3 has wrapped up, and for Star Wars fans, it was disappointing to say the very least. I think even those with the lowest of expectations were still disappointed in what we got, which was nothing. So in this video, we're going to dive into all of that, what it could mean for future Star Wars games, as well as how much pressure this puts on EA at EA Play Live in a month's time. But before we dive into it, this video is sponsored by Fishing Clash because, well, YouTube sucks. So Fishing Clash is a really simple and easy to play game available on both Android and iOS. You fish until your heart's content. There's over a dozen different fisheries. You visit various locations and you can catch over 100 different species of fish and upgrade your gear to catch even bigger fish. You can join clans, you can unlock skills, and it features really good realistic 3D graphics. And this game has really easy to use controls, so it's pretty much accessible to anyone, and it's just an easy game to pick up and just sink countless hours into. Now, I know a lot of you guys love multiplayer games, so this could scratch your itch whilst Battlefront is in its grave. You can compete against players from all over the world, even in battle royale modes, but if you aren't into that, then you can verse other players in duels, tournaments, and championships. Now, every single day there is an event where you can actually win some really cool prizes, so it'll keep you engaged. And honestly, I sunk more hours into this game than I actually care to admit, so I'm more than happy to bring this one to you guys today. So be sure to head to the link below in the description, check Fishing Clash out for yourself and support the channel in the process. And of course, a big thank you to Fishing Clash for sponsoring this video. But now, let's dive back into it. So, E3 was just a complete and total bust for Star Wars fans. Now, I know there's going to be several comments on this video saying, well, what did you guys expect? The answer is, we weren't expecting much, and that's the problem. We weren't expecting much, and we were still disappointed, and it was only made worse by the fact that we had this biggest blue balls moment in gaming history. When Ubisoft's CEO saved his best reveal until last, he mentioned this huge IP, the Snowdrop engine, which is of course Massive Entertainment's engine, who will be making the new open world Star Wars game, and then it was slowly revealed to not be any teaser for the new open world Star Wars game. Instead, it was a teaser trailer for Avatar. So it's fair to say a few people got a little bit bamboozled, and naturally a lot of people were really frustrated by it. Now, look, nobody was expecting a trailer for this open world Star Wars game or anything. I think a lot of the people who were critical of the people who were more optimistic, they seem to think that these people were expecting a trailer for the new open world Star Wars game. No, nobody was expecting that. It was literally announced like 6 months ago, but to be fair, we have heard nothing about it since, like not even a slither of a detail. So a lot of us were expecting maybe like a name drop or a behind the scenes look. Something looked like it was brewing, and there was always a glimmer of hope that there was going to be something there for us this year, albeit it would never have been much. But Star Wars fans at this point, they'll take not much. Star Wars games at the moment are just a complete dead space by design at this point. So overall, I think a lot of people were just kind of shocked that there was just no reveal for Star Wars at E3 this year, given the news in January of the Star Wars license opening up to other publishers, which was, again, announced in January, but would have been something that had been in the works for a while. So, you know, a lot of people were expecting to at least get like the bare minimum of something. Now, we did get lots of stuff for Battlefield, which I don't like Battlefield personally, I never have, but this is the game that Battlefront 2 was killed off for, so DICE could put their focus onto this game. So graphics wise and general gameplay wise, if a Battlefront 3 was to be made by DICE once Battlefield is out and they can begin to move on some of their team, then this is a rough guess on what it could look like, as Battlefront and Battlefield, they share a lot of key components. But now moving on, and there has been rumbles of an Xbox exclusive shooter or Mandalorian game doing the works for a while now. Remember the one with Phil Spencer, the head honcho of Xbox, teasing stuff on his shelf and then a credible leaker spilled information early about a new Star Wars game? Yeah, that. So a lot of people fixed their attention to the Xbox showcase, which didn't really bring us anything about what that game could potentially be, which was disappointing, but to be fair, I wasn't really expecting anything personally. Having said that though, we did get an Xbox fridge, so that's kind of cool. I will say though, I actually think the best thing to come out of E3 for me personally, I know this might be unpopular, but it was actually the new Sea of Thieves update. I might even actually stream that on Twitch. Like, I'll be all over it, seeing as Star Wars games are seemingly neglected by everyone that makes them, so I mean there's no point playing them. But anyway, moving on to the next disappointment, Star Wars Hunters also was not given anything at E3. Now, even the most pessimistic of people were probably expecting to see Star Wars Hunters and the Nintendo Showcase at E3. Now look, I personally just could not give a left nut about Star Wars Hunters. It's another small game made for iOS and Switch made by the people who made Farmville, so it's not exactly in the upper echelon of future Star Wars projects for me. But if you're excited for it, you know, I get it. But we didn't even get anything for that. Now, a lot of people are keen for this game, and like I said, if you're excited for it, then the power to you. I hope you like it. It's probably just the same deal as Star Wars Squadrons. If it's made for you, you're probably really excited for it, but if it's not, then you couldn't give a shit about it. I'm in the latter, personally, but I've of course got to mention it here for those who do want to know what's going on. And unfortunately, that is absolutely nothing. It's kind of sad when the thing that's most likely to be featured at E3 doesn't even happen. Like, that's a big yikes. Now, the last game absent from E3 was LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Once again, the release of this game does not look like it's going to happen anytime soon. It's already been delayed a couple times. We haven't seen or heard anything official about it for months, even though it was actually supposed to come out like 7 or 8 months ago or something. And there was also some talks that Warner Brothers would potentially be showcasing things at E3, but LEGO Star Wars was MIA. Now, there was a post made on Reddit recently from a known insider who had this to say about LEGO Star Wars. Cutting it really short, he said, "For Traveler's Tales to get the Star Wars game out, they're just having a lot of issues behind the scenes, like the game is just not coming together very well at all." So that's worrying, but I mean, it does make sense. LEGO Star Wars is a super ambitious game, and it looks like TT Games may have bitten off more than they can chew at the moment, so we'll have to keep an eye on this one closely. So overall, what does this mean for Star Wars games? In terms of non-EA Star Wars games, it means one thing and one thing only: patience. I know that we have all been patient for a very long time now for Star Wars games, and it's been a really crap year for all of us. But we're gonna have to stay patient just a little bit longer. I know that it's hard seeing so many other games and franchises getting so much attention whilst we just sit stagnant with Star Wars games. That's probably the most frustrating thing. Yeah, we've had the pandemic go on that's halted a lot of games' progress and stuff like that, but it seems like everything is recovered except for Star Wars games. Like seeing lesser games and, you know, bigger games and bigger franchises and lesser franchises getting this and that going for it, and we just have to sit on our hands and watch time click over for seemingly nothing. But in terms of non-EA projects, we've got to be patient for even longer. That's just all it is. Now, as for the EA side of things, this does shift a very heavy load onto EA at EA Play Live in July. Everything rests on the shoulders of EA next month. Now, I don't think we're going to have the same issue as Star Wars games at E3 where we see nothing, but I'm going to be fully transparent with you guys. We should see plenty of stuff for Star Wars games at EA Play Live, like a Fallen Order sequel reveal, as well as, you know, 1 or 2 other reveals. But recent times, I'm not going to lie, they've killed my optimism, and there is that thought in the back of my mind that we're just going to see nothing, which would literally be the most mind-boggling, stupid thing that just makes zero sense. But I've got a feeling this dry spell for Star Wars fans is just going to keep going, because at this point, I just expect bad news. I've just got this feeling that, you know, this mobile game is just going to come and be the savior, but in reality, it's just going to make everything worse and just piss even more people off. I will say though, guys, for a fact, if I'm bringing you guys a similar video to this one at the end of EA Play Live in a month's time, I think the channel might just go on like a hiatus or something for a little while, and I'm just going to shift my full focus into my studies. Hopefully, it doesn't come to that, and it shouldn't. Like, it really shouldn't. But I am tired of clinging onto small dashes of optimism that the right things are going to happen for Star Wars games, and then just nothing happens at all. And, you know, we just remain with a whole lot of nothing. It's tiring, and the last year has been really taxing as a content creator and a Star Wars game fan. And it's really hard, like I said before, seeing all these other games flourishing, and Star Wars games are just going nowhere. It's tough, and like I said though, hopefully we don't get to a point where I need to move the channel on or just stop entirely, but if Star Wars games don't get their shit together soon, then yeah. But that is going to do it for me today, guys. I know this video is a bit of a downer, but I'm sure you guys are feeling the exact same way, and judging from my Twitter feed, you are. So let me know down in those comments what you're hoping for at EA Play Live, as that is the last hope, albeit the biggest hope. So it's all resting on EA's shoulders. They need to come in and save the day. And of course, just as a quick reminder to check out Fishing Clash through the link in the description to help support the channel in the process. And once again, a big thank you to Fishing Clash for sponsoring this video and keeping the channel going. But that is going to do it for me today. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, as we head into what is going to be a make or break period for Star Wars games. There's going to be plenty to talk about, so hit that notification bell as well. And I'll catch you all in the next one for hopefully a much more optimistic video.